Hello, everyone. I'm so excited that you were able to join us tonight. We are going to be talking about some cool, free, it's important to be free, EdTech that you can use in your classroom. Now, this is our second workshop that we have done related to EdTech. So be sure and check out part 1 of cool free EdTech. And then tonight, this is part 2. One of the things that I love to do is find new educational tools that make your job easier as a teacher, that creates engagement in the classroom. And hopefully you will be able to walk away tonight with some new ideas, new tools that you can use in your classroom to do just that. Create engagement. So we will go ahead and get started. My name is April Clark. I'm the executive director and co-founder of a nonprofit educational program called Reach and Teach. Our goal is to provide tons of real world experience and free resources to teachers just like you. Be sure and check out all of our free programs that we offer through Reach and Teach. And we have a monthly newsletter that sends out links to podcasts, TED Talks, case studies, really cool things that you could spend your classroom money on. All of it's included for free in our monthly newsletter. So be sure and visit our website and check out all of our free resources and subscribe to that newsletter. So let me share my screen and we will go ahead and get started. So as I've already mentioned, we're going to be talking about some free EdTech for you to use in your classroom. We're going to talk about 4 things tonight. Screencastify is the first one, Bulb, digital portfolios, Moat, and Mural. So we will start with Screencastify. So we know, living in this digital world, having to work remotely, teach remotely, maybe you are teaching hybrid classes. If you're not now, you have definitely done that over the last year and a half. So we've been able to, or we've had to adjust to new ways of doing things. And so I came across this platform and found it to be extremely simple to use. So this is a screencasting app that you can add as an extension to Google Chrome. Super easy to use. There's really no training that you need. It's a simple press of the button and it's right there and available for you to use. So you can definitely use this by to create assignments for your students, to have one-on-one type interactions with your students, and to basically just have better, clear communication with your students. And I've already mentioned it is super easy. Hey guys, we're ahead. My bad. So I'm going to show you on this next screen how Screencastify works. So this is a short little video that I actually recorded using this software. So you guys can check it out. Hey guys, I'm here to show you how Screencastify works. It is a great tool to use when creating assignments, having individual interactions with your students, and ensuring that you have clear communication of exactly what you want your students to complete. And the best part, it is super easy to use. So I literally made this video in just less than 30 seconds, from recording to trimming down the clip to posting. And so this is a very easy tool to use. In fact, Screencastify has different options to where you can add in questions to your video as well. So that's what you're seeing on my screen now. You can add in interactive questions that will pop up as the students are watching the recording. And they're you can make them multiple choice, and that way you can really kind of test the knowledge of your students as they are watching the video that you have recorded. You can also share the link to the video that you record very simply. So the link is down here that you can just click on. You can share. It will bring, oh, you have to log in. Whoops. So let me log in very quickly and you'll be able to see what the video looks like. Hey guys, I'm here to show you how Screencastify works. It is a great tool to use when creating a site. So you can see how the questions pop up. Do you believe this information is helpful? Absolutely. And it shows you whether or not you got the correct answer. So this is what it would look like on your student side. Assignments, having individual interactions with your students, and ensuring that you have clear communication of exactly what you want your students to complete. And the best part, and we have another question that was embedded into the video. Do you plan to use Screencastify in your classroom? Absolutely. So you can see, you can choose the correct answer. These are just little quiz tools that you can incorporate into the videos that you create. And you guys, it is super easy to use. I have to tell you, creating that little video, incorporating the interactive questions, it took hardly any time at all. So I love this software. It's very easy to use. There's lots of things that you can do with it. And so you can record, edit, and submit. So this is a screenshot of what the editing platform looks like. As I already mentioned, you can add those questions and you can share and export. So you can share it through email with a QR code. You can share it straight to Google Classroom, and you're able to track how many viewers have viewed the video, as well as see the responses to the interactive questions. You can also download the video straight from the editing software. Again, guys, it is super, super easy to use, but that's not even my favorite part. The best part is they have a complete list or a complete course of training for this Screencastify. Honestly, you don't even really need training because it's so easy, but there are certifications that you can earn through this platform. I believe there's a total of 4 courses, and they're very short, they're very informative little courses that you work through. And at the end of it, you receive a certification for completion. So I love this software. Hopefully you'll be able to think of ways that you can use it in your classroom. Just off the top of my head, I'm thinking that, you know, whenever you're trying to explain an assignment through text, sometimes it's very difficult to really get the point across to your students. They're not able to hear the tone in your voice. So being able to create a video, explain the assignment, being able to ask questions, I think there's a lot of good tools that you guys can utilize in that. And while I'm thinking about it, I forgot to mention, there is a workshop guide that goes along with this session that I will be glad to share with you. And at the end of this session, you will all receive your own certificate of completion for participating in this hour-long workshop. So we're going to move on to the next EdTech tool. So definitely check out Screencastify. The next one we're going to talk about is Bulb Digital Portfolios. Digital portfolios. So this software can be used, or this EdTech can be used for students to create resumes, to work on maybe capstone projects in your class, and even for you to be able to showcase student work to people outside of your classroom, to people outside of your school. So it's very easy to share with a link, and, you know, especially with the digital resume, I love that aspect of it because students are really able to portray a little bit more about who they are instead of just filling out, a paper job application or creating a resume with Microsoft Word. There's a lot more that you can include with these digital portfolios. And I think students will really enjoy being able to use this type of platform to create a resume and a portfolio. So this is what the platform looks like. There's two different options. You've got your resume tab and your portfolio tab. You can see right now it's on the resume tab, and there are sections where you add in your information. You can also add in your social profiles. So this would link directly to the student's Instagram or LinkedIn. Hopefully they have a LinkedIn profile set up. If not, that is a great thing to focus on for high school students, especially, to be able to create a LinkedIn profile and then link it to your resume. So there's an About Me section, experience and education, and then you can add your own sections of your choosing. I love this because it gives prompts to the students. Very simple prompts. So in the About Me section, it says, tell us who you are as a professional or as a person, highlight your skills and greatest strengths, and let others know about your career goals. So I know when I was teaching in the classroom and we would be working on resumes, so many times students had such a hard time thinking about how they complete a resume, what information they should include. And so I love that this gives simple prompts to get people, or to get your students thinking about what to add. You can also see that under About Me, they can add portfolio content. And we'll talk more about the portfolio tab in a moment. But I love that they're able to link in some of the content from their portfolio so that it gives them a really good full picture of who they are. Because, sometimes it's so hard to really get a feel for who the person is when it's just words on a piece of paper. So I love that you can include the pictures and the videos and different links to really show an overall image of who a person is. So I'm going to share with you, this is the portfolio tab. So you can see, just like any social media platform, you can add a profile picture, you can add a cover picture, and then you also tell a little bit about who you are. So you include a very small bit of information, biographical information about who you are. And then with the portfolio, you can create pages or collections. So these are 2 pages that I created for my portfolio. One page is about speaking and professional development. Another page is about event planning and concerts. And then you can add as many pages here. So for example, if a student has experience with volunteering, maybe with different organizations in your community, they might have a portfolio page dedicated to their volunteer experience. And so within that, they could highlight all of the different organizations that they've volunteered with, maybe special projects that they have worked on, and it would truly show a clear picture of how involved they are in the community. Maybe they have experience with maybe podcasting. Maybe they have their own podcast or a YouTube channel. They could have a portfolio page dedicated to podcasting, and they could talk about and highlight the different guests that they've interviewed. They could have links to that podcast and highlights from those podcasts. So I love the concept of being able to create different portfolio pages and organize them into different collections. You can see this platform is very clean. It's very easy to create. It's very easy to show a full picture of who the person is, right? So I'm going to show you a short video. One of my favorite things about this is you're able to share a link to your portfolio, to this bulb digital portfolio, and whoever you're sharing it with is able to click on the link and see it in real time, or you can present your portfolio, your digital portfolio. So I think this is a great way for if you have students that maybe are creating a resume or creating a portfolio, if you wanted them to present and share that to the rest of your class, there's an easy function on there for them to click present. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. Okay. So you can see you simply click on the present tab, and it takes you to a nicely formatted page that the students are able to scroll through and talk about their presentation. So I love this tool. I think having a digital portfolio is something that is really important for young people. As I've already mentioned, it just gives a better, more full rounded picture of the person that the resume is highlighting, right? And so I think students can be truly creative when creating their digital portfolio, adding in links and pictures of experiences and opportunities that they have been a part of. So I really, really love that. Okay, so we talked about Screencastify. We've talked about Bulb digital portfolios. Be sure and check those two out. They both have a free version. Of course, they have a paid version as well that you get more features and benefits, but the free version is absolutely usable and a great way to introduce your students to different ed tech within your classroom. So the next ed tech that we're going to talk about is called Moat. This is a voice messaging extension that you can add to Google Chrome. It allows you to leave quick voice comments, really provide some clear feedback for your students, and it integrates with Google Apps. So I know so many times when I was teaching in the classroom, I wanted to provide feedback to students on different activities or different things that they had worked on. And I always ran into the problem of overthinking how I was going to type out my feedback so that it got the point across, but maybe didn't come off too harsh, right? Because you can't read tone in text. So it was kind of hard to really construct that perfect feedback statement so that you're providing constructive criticism potentially, but you're also doing it in a friendly way and a way that doesn't kill the confidence of students, right? So I love this voice messaging option because it allows you to speak and have a certain tone about your voice so that inevitably you always have those students that they want to be just perfect. They want to be just right. And when you give them feedback, it just crushes their spirit, right? So this gives you a way to provide feedback in a voice message that students can understand that you're not upset, you're not mad, you're just simply providing some constructive feedback to help them grow professionally. So what does that look like? You can, a couple of things that you can do with it. Maybe you can explain instructions in Google Classroom. So many times you might have assignments that it's very hard to explain through text exactly what needs to happen. Or maybe you have a student that is struggling and could use a little bit extra explanation. So you can create these voice messages right in Google Classroom on the assignments that you provide. So it's a very convenient way to do that. Another thing is you can provide audio comments on Google Docs. So if your student is working on a resume, or maybe they're working on a research paper or some other assignment that's in a Google Doc, you just simply highlight the words like you see here, and then you click to add a comment just like you normally would, but instead of typing, you're going to have a purple M on this side of the comment box. When you click on that purple M, you can start recording. And so your voice is being recorded, and then you simply click the check mark and then comment, and it will add the voice comment for students to be able to listen to the voice comment that you provided. So I love this so much because number one, it's quick and easy. So many times it is so much faster just to say it, record yourself saying it and add it than to type it out, especially if you're having to type a lot of information. You can do this super quickly and add those voice comments to Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Classroom, any of those Google apps. So again, you can see here how this is what the comment box looks like on Google Docs, and the student would simply click the play button and they would be able to hear the feedback that you are giving the students. Also, you can send these voice messages in a link. So if you're providing feedback to students or instructions to students, you can record the voice message and it will give you a link to be able to share with students. So you can post that link wherever you need it to be. So I love this. I think this is a great tool that you can utilize in your classroom. And I'm sure there's hundreds of ways for you guys to think about how you can utilize this at different grade levels and in different classrooms. What would be best to easily impact your students in a more positive way. Okay, so we've talked about Screencastify. We have talked about Moat, and we talked about the bulb digital profiles. Again, all of these have a free version. Of course, if you want more features, more benefits, you can certainly purchase those at a higher level, but I just always typically am able to use the free version of different apps like this. Obviously, if it's something that you really enjoy using in your class and you think it's going to better the functionality of your class, you might consider purchasing one of the more inclusive packages. But all of the things that I've mentioned so far, you can do with the free version. So let me say that everything that I've showed you so far, you can do very easily with the free version of all of these EdTech apps. Okay, so the next EdTech that I want to talk about is called Mural. I love to brainstorm. Because I think it's so important for different perspectives and different ideas to be heard in order to come up with a really cool solution. But when I was a teacher in the classroom, I always found it a little bit difficult to brainstorm in the class in the traditional ways that you might think of. Because you all know you have those students that are the outspoken students that are going to speak up every time you ask a question. You can always count on them to speak up, but then you also have those students that maybe are quiet, a little more reserved, a little bit more shy. So it was always a challenge for me to make sure that every single student's voice was heard, because a lot of times the shy, quieter students were overshadowed by the students who spoke out and provided their opinions, their ideas, and solutions. So I always tried to come up with ways to ensure that every single student's voice was heard. And I wish so much that I would have known about Mural when I was teaching in the classroom. This is an awesome way to have collaborative brainstorming, but not just brainstorming. There's icebreakers. There's so many different templates that are already created that you can utilize through Mural. So you might already do mind mapping in your class. Maybe you do mood boards or SWOT analysis. I always had my students create mood boards to help me better understand who they were, how they were feeling in certain situations. Even when we started a new project, my students would create mood boards about the project. So it gives a really good visual representation of how the students are feeling, how the students are reacting to the projects that you implement in your class. So I love mood boards. Anytime that I find a good application that includes mood boards, I love that. A SWOT analysis, maybe you teach marketing or business, or maybe you want your students to just create a SWOT analysis about themselves. identifying their strengths, their weaknesses, different opportunities, and different threats that they may face about a project or, their upcoming future or whatever that might be. So I love that the SWOT analysis is included as well. When you first create a mural project, you find the screen. Mural wants to know how can they help. So there's a couple of different sections, a couple of different groups of templates. And so this question really kind of helps point you in the right direction. So maybe you need help, or you want your students to use Mural to start planning a project. Maybe you want your students to learn more about a certain problem or design a solution, or maybe even a reflection on a project that you have already done. Of course, we've already talked about brainstorming as well, but Mural, this Mural app that is also free, can definitely be used in many different ways within your classroom. I would challenge you to check it out, set up a free account, browse through it. There is also some training videos and some tutorials that'll help you dig in a little bit deeper to the different ways that you can utilize Mural. But there's a ton of options on there. And I think a lot of the templates are truly amazing and helps you really plan out a successful brainstorming session. So these are a few of the templates that are available. And I didn't scroll through all of the templates, but I'm pretty certain there is well over or close to 100 templates available through this application. So you can start with a template, which I suggest because I think they're very well laid out, or you can start with a blank canvas and create your own brainstorming project, or they call them canvases on here. So I want to show you kind of what it looks like when you choose a template. So every template that you choose has an outline. It takes you through how the template is laid out. So it gives you an outline on the right-hand side of your screen. And there's already rules, there's already instructions in place for each one of these templates. So you can look at the overview. It will tell you how to get started using this template. And then this particular template, there are 5 questions where you type in information for each one of the questions, and you kind of set up the template before you share it with all of your students or with whoever is on your team that you will be brainstorming with. So I love this. I'm on this screenshot, I'm clicked on the brainstorming rules because this is the type of information that is already laid out. It is already available and put into the template. So this is just a huge time saver for teachers or for any leader who is wanting to create some type of tool to brainstorm with students or teammates. So I love this. I encourage you to check out this program, this free EdTech. I think it's very exciting and a tool that you can use in your classroom. So I'm going to show you another part of this EdTech is once you get it all set up the way you want the template to be, the canvas to be, then you share the mural with people. So you can invite them using email addresses. You can also create an invitation link where whoever you want to participate can click on the link and be a part of your brainstorming. This is an awesome way to collaborate remotely with your students, or maybe even other teachers at your school. If you're working on a project with other teachers, being able to collaborate and brainstorm solutions, maybe you're on different committees. I think there's a lot of different options to be able to use Mural. Another part of this that I absolutely love is it's anonymous. And so many times students are really kind of scared to share their ideas or share their solutions because they're afraid they might be made fun of. They're afraid that people would judge them based on their ideas. But this keeps it anonymous, and it allows for anonymous voting as well too. One of the things I forgot to mention, I'm going to go back to the screen that we were on before. A couple of these tools at the top, there is a timer that you can set that will time, or that will have a timer for the amount of time that your participants can brainstorm. So I think that's really cool that you can set a timer for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, however long, to allow the people that are participating to brainstorm. I know sometimes that can kind of be a challenge to keep everyone on task, and we have 1 more minute, we have 30 seconds, whatever it might be, the timer is there and available and set and ready for your participants to brainstorm. Another option that I love, and I've already talked about it a little bit, is the voting option, where once all of the ideas and solutions are on the canvas, then the participants can go back and anonymously vote on which idea or solution is their favorite. So I think that's a really cool option as well. You can also download the canvas so that you can have it offline. Maybe you want to print it out or have it available on your computer, where it's not housed at an online platform. But I think that's a cool option as well too. So that is Mural. I really love this software. In fact, I'm going to start using this application with our team here at Reach and Teach. We do a lot of brainstorming, and I can definitely see how this will be beneficial. You can also see in the screenshot, students actually write on these digital sticky notes. So when they click on one of these squares, they can type in their idea. And then whoever the facilitator is, if that's the teacher, or maybe it is a student leader in your classroom, they can use the arrows. They can include arrows or circles or different shapes. They can move each one of these sticky notes around. And it's a really interactive piece of collaboration, or an element to collaboration that would definitely make this world of virtual learning a little bit easier, more interactive, and hopefully engage and motivate students to work together. So I love that. So we talked about 4 free EdTech tonight. I know we kind of zoomed through that very quickly, but if you guys have any questions about any of the applications that I have talked about tonight, definitely feel free to email me. I'm going to leave you with my email address. So this is my email address. Please reach out. If you did not receive the workshop guide, just shoot me an email and I will send that workshop guide to you, as well as the completion certificate for this workshop. You can definitely check us out on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Please check out our website. There's tons of free resources available to teachers just like you. We love to support teachers. So if there's anything that we can do to make your job easier, please never hesitate to reach out. We are always looking for ways to support teachers just like you. And if you have ideas for professional development, something that maybe you want to learn more about, definitely shoot us a message and we would be happy to see if we can make that happen for you. If you did not see our part 1 to Cool EdTech, check it out. It's available on our website. This is part 2. So if you watch both workshops, if you participate in both workshops, you'll have a total of 8 new EdTech tools that you can use in your classroom. The best part, they're all free. They have a free element to them. And like I mentioned, usually you can get away from just using the free version, and teachers love free, right? I hope all of you have a wonderful evening. Please let us know if we can support you in any way. And I look forward to chatting soon.